Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have all had a wonderful and amazing week. Let me know in the comments where you are tuning in from today. For those of you who are brand new, I reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida, and mental health moment is all about how do you work on becoming the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for the people around you. This past weekend was a whirlwind. So I am very upset with you all. Let me tell you, the people in the comments in New York, because y'all did not warn me about New York City traffic. I live like on the outskirts of Tampa where yes, of course we have traffic, but New York City traffic was insane. It was insane. I thought I was on a different planet. Seriously. So I stayed this past weekend in literally Times Square was where my hotel was, and I was speaking at an event, well, two events on Friday in New York City, and then on Saturday morning I was in New Jersey for another event. Like it was crazy. It was like a 24-hour span of time and like running to multiple events. However, what I did not realize, it's been a while since I've been in the heart of New York City, was how bad the traffic is. So no joke, there was a time where on my Uber app, I was waiting for the driver, and you know how like you can see on Uber, you can see, the cars moving towards you in theory. And the car was just sitting there for so long. I thought my app was frozen, you all. So I'm texting the driver, like, is everything okay? I think my app is frozen. Like, what is going on? And he's like, it's the traffic. And I was like, "What?" Like, because it's so crazy to me. I'm not used to that kind of traffic. Like literally you just don't move for like 10 minutes. I'm like, "What is going on here?" Yes, the traffic was horrible, but it was kind of fun, yes, as a tourist, because it's been a while since I've been like in the heart of Times Square. So it was kind of cool for a second to see the lights and all this sort of thing. My view was beautiful. It was literally like of where the ball drops on New Year's Eve, which I'm like, that's so cool. Like again, my Florida self. I thought it was cool. But yes, for a short amount of time, it was cool. But yes, that traffic was no joke. So I do not miss the traffic, but I did love being there for a couple of days. And I was happy it wasn't snowing because I'm a Florida girl, y'all. In case you don't know me, I am not a fan of snow. I like to visit. I mean, I'm okay with visiting. I don't love to visit, but yeah, I would try not to be in the snow too often. So quick announcements, and then I, of course, want to get to my tips today with you all. Okay, next event. Actually, well, okay. I'll give you a save the date. I am actually not sure if this event is going to be open to the public or not. But if you are, I know someone even said they're here from Phoenix. I will be in Phoenix next month in July. So Sunday, July 27th. I may be able to tell you guys about an event that I'll be at, but I do not know quite yet. I have to get with the coordinator if it is open to the public or if it's a private event. So I will let you all know very shortly. And then October 24th, Friday, October 24th, that's my growth mindset and self-care summit, which I'll be hosting this year in Atlanta. So if you're in the Atlanta area or plan to be in the Atlanta area, I'm super excited to be doing this one in person. Last year was virtual, and it was amazing. And I'm just grateful for some of you who were able to attend. And then this year we're going to be in person. It's an all-day event. Again, in Atlanta, the information for that is mindsettrainingsummit.com. So mindsettrainingsummit.com. Specifically for that event or most events that are upcoming for me, it'll be on my website, drnekeshiahammond.com/events. So yes, I think those are my two announcements. For those of you who are not new to Mental Health Moment, we talk a lot, of course, about wellness, but I also want to keep it real, if you will, to that. Like, as much as we're hopefully growing as people and living healthier, happier lives and working on ourselves, there still comes the hard, difficult days, right? Like we know that. There's still the tough days, there's still the dark seasons. Like that just comes with life. So I want to remind you though that I know it's easier said than done, but remind you how important it is mentally to work on this idea of having your persistence, having your just persevering through, not giving up. It's really, really, really important too. The things that you're telling yourself. We talk a lot on mental health moment about self talk, right? Those things are really, really important. So, good evening from Kentucky. Welcome. So, I want to share with you today a couple of affirmations, things that like practical things that you can tell yourself, right? Because again, in those moments, in those tough days, those I want to give up on my whatever your goal is for your well-being, right? Those days will come. Then what are you telling yourselves in those moments, right? Watching from Texas. Welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for joining here. So a couple things. One is reminding yourself that there's so much that you have overcome before, right? Like, because sometimes we forget how amazing we are and how resilient we are, and that we've gone through some tough things in the past, right? Like, we have to remind ourselves of those things. I remember once my coach, anyways, one of my business coaches had asked me that. Like, he was like, because we were talking about some things that I was working on. He's like, wait a minute. Like, let's not forget, don't forget who you are. Right. Like I remember he told me that he was like, don't forget who you are. Like, do you remember a time? And I'm gonna tell you this too, because this is what he told me. He's like, do you remember a time where you got through something so difficult and you didn't think you were gonna get through? And I, was thinking about it. I'm like, yep. Right. Like, I remember some stuff, right? Because we think that way. And then when you reflect back to those times, you're like, wait a minute, I did get through, right? Maybe some scars, maybe some wounds emotionally from those time periods, but you still got through them, right? You were able to get through them. Milwaukee's in the house. Welcome, welcome. North Carolina, welcome. Pennsylvania, welcome. Thanks so much for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. So when you have those tough days, right? One of the things you can tell yourself is that I have overcome hard things before and I will get through, right? And it seems simple, but I promise you, your words are powerful. So I wrote books, some of you already know, on what I call mindset training, because the things that you're telling yourself, the things that you're telling yourself about yourself are important, and you can rewire your brain and retrain your brain to understand when you start to say things like, okay, I've gotten through hard things before, I can get through this, I can get through this, it's going to be okay. Like, even though you might not feel that way emotionally, but like, what are the things that you're telling yourself, right? Because just because you just because you tell yourself something one time, you might be like, Psh, you don't believe that, but keep telling yourself those things. Keep working on trying to get through mentally, because it's just hard, right? We all have our hard, tough days, but what is it that you're telling yourself, right? And the first thing to start to tell yourself, we're talking about, how do you get through these harder days? How do you get through these tough seasons? Is that I have gotten through difficult things before. I can get through this one. I can rise above. I can get through this, right? And I do wanna say, let me take a pause real quick, because 'cause I'm talking today about affirmations and the things that you're telling yourself, your self-talk. And I do want to put a big asterisk on this, that this is not the only way to get through hard situations. Certain situations, they're just a lot more difficult than we can handle through, like, a simple affirmation. So I want to, definitely state that and remind you of that. Sometimes there's things that happen that are just so painful to us. We need someone else to help us through it, and that is okay. I'm gonna make the big PSA, whether it's therapy, whether it's a coach, whether it's someone that's close to you, that's helpful, that's supportive of you, whomever it is, in whatever way, professional help or support from family or friends, like that's okay. If you have to take that step too. But on mental health one, we talk a lot about sort of like a self-help type of things, right? And strategies that you can try on your own too. But just know you don't have to only do it that way. Sometimes you need more help, and that's okay. So that's one thing. The second thing is that I really also want you to remember that you don't, like, you can tell yourself you don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to have all the answers, right? Sometimes I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but some of us struggle sometimes with needing to know like every single thing and having everything figured out. And there may be new situations in life that you've gone through even recently, and you're like, I don't know how to deal with this, right? Because you may not have ever experienced it before. is okay. Like, you don't have to have everything figured out, but you can tell yourself, I don't know all the answers, which is the truth, but I'm going to do my best to figure it out. Right. And that's what you do. And again, sometimes you need to be in your own journey, right? Whether that means we talk a lot about taking a minute, I'm a big fan of that, the 60 seconds a day, taking some silent time. The world is noisy. You all, I just came, for those of you who are joining who are here in the beginning, I was just talking about New York City, right? And it was like busy and hectic and noisy. And I'm like, what is going on here? Right. But the world is like that, right? There's so much stuff happening in the media and social media, and like everywhere you look, it's something going on, right? So because the world is noisy, it's even more important for you to have that silent time, like, again, 60 seconds a day at a minimum, right? There's a lot of power in that. So, taking that time for you, if you need to work on clarity, if that's what you need to work on right now, taking that time, but also, again, reminding yourself that you don't have to have all the answers. Like, whatever it is that you're emotionally processing, you don't have to have all the answers right now, but you can make the commitment to yourself. You will figure this out, right? Whether you figure this out on your own, if you need to write the old school, like, pros and cons sheet, right? To figure out a situation on your own, and you can do that on your own, or you need to reach out to someone else that can help you with that solution. That's okay, right? But it's a matter of what is the narrative that you're telling yourself? What is the story you're telling yourself? What does your self-talk look like? Because again, I hope you all know that it's real easy for us to get into the self-blame, into the harsh thinking and all those sorts of things when we're going through things, we're having tough times, we're blaming ourselves, all those sorts of things. Or you can work on reminding yourself you don't have to know everything. You can work on figuring out though, right? And the third thing I wanted to share with you, or the third thing to think about, reminding yourself in your journey, right, is that it's so important to also remind yourself. We did a whole mental health moment about this though, but the value of rest. Like, you're allowed to rest. You're allowed to take a break, right? And reminding yourself you don't that doesn't mean you're giving up. So whatever your wellness goal is, whatever your journey is, whatever it is you're trying to get through the tough, hard times, like, you're allowed to take a break. You're allowed to rest. It does not mean you're giving up. Because sometimes we think wrongly that we have to stay productive, right? So don't take a break, don't rest. But that's just not what your brain needs. Our brains need the rest. Now, how much rest you need, it depends. Right? It depends on where you're at in your wellness journey. What is it that you've gone through? It could be resting for taking that minute, like I always say, taking an hour, taking a day, taking a week. Like, it all depends. But the point is to remind yourself and tell yourself, I am allowed to rest. It doesn't mean I'm giving up. Right. So remind yourself of those things. As I start to wrap up here, I wanted to share a couple of those affirmations. There's many, many more affirmations, you all, that that you can use when it comes to the tougher days, the harder times, the days when you're like, I just feel like giving up on my goals and like all those sorts of things. Cause it's really easy to get bogged down with a lot of negativity in our brain sometimes. And it's like, I just want to shut that off. Right? But again, what are you adding in? What are you telling yourself? Are you reminding yourself you don't have to have all the answers? You don't have to have this figured out. You will do your best though, right? To work through. Are you reminding yourself that you've gotten through difficult times in your life before, and remembering who you are, remembering how strong you are? You are stronger than you know. It's a matter of tapping in though to your inner strength. But you are stronger than you think you are. You just are. So remembering that you do have the capacity and the ability to be resilient. And also remembering that sometimes resilience means, you know what? This is a lot to bear, whatever that situation is. So I'm going to be resilient, and I am going to work on myself by getting the help that I need from someone else, which is okay. Right. So remembering all of that, is really important. You don't have to do all this alone. The other thing I wanted to share with you all before I forget, I don't think I said this at the beginning of my announcements, but I'm super excited. I just announced it on social media today, but I'm so, so excited, you all, that I will be starting to film my first documentary. Y'all pray for me because I've never done a documentary in my life, but it's been on my heart, to do one. I'm leaving in a couple weeks to Bali, Indonesia, on the total opposite side of the world, but I'm super excited. I had the pleasure and honor to go there a couple years ago, my family and I, and we absolutely love it there. The most beautiful, amazing people. We're actually connecting back with some of the people that we met last time we went. But nonetheless, I'll be starting to film that. It is about mental wellness, shocker. And I'm so excited to share that with you all when it's all completed. But if you want to follow along with just some of the behind the scenes moments, for those of you who follow me on Instagram, it's right here on the screen, Dr. Nekeshia Hammond. I will be in my Instagram stories with the behind the scene moments of well, some of the behind the scene moments. I don't want to spoil everything, but for the documentary, and it's starting the beginning of July. So yeah, for about a 2-week period, I'll be out there. So just want to let you all know my exciting news. I'm so excited. I can't wait for it to be all done. It's going to take some time, obviously, because we're just starting the filming. But I can't wait to share it with you. And I promise I'll share it as soon as it's all completed, obviously, and it's available to share. It just helps for you again to say those sorts of things to yourself, to remind yourself that you are strong, that you are resilient, that you can get through. No, it's not going to magically make all your problems go away. I wish I don't have the magic wand. Right. But it does, you are starting to work to train yourself to understand that you can get through. So I'm gonna wrap up here and let you guys get back to whatever it is you're doing in your lives. But I will be back next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Make sure that you take the time to think about some of those affirmations. You can even add more in that work for you to really try to get through the hard days. It is possible. It is possible for you. Be blessed. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.